Hello and welcome to another Standard Deck Tech here on Chief as MTG. I'm Alex. So a new Standard season is upon us. New decks have emerged out of the shadow of Bant Company. We see Delirium decks, we see decks abusing the Emerge mechanic, we see Zombie decks, we see Spirit decks. But the one card that hasn't seen too much attention at the Pro Tour is Splendid Reclamation. And here is a deck that we've brewed, designed to take advantage of the card's power. So Splendid Reclamation is a sorcery that for 3 generic and a green mana, you get to return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. This is a great card. Explosive Vegetation has regularly seen play in ramp decks and other landfall based strategies as a 4-of, and this has the potential to be an Explosive Vegetation on steroids. Of course, it needs some setting up, and there are a few strategies to do it. Today we're going to show you how to do it with red cards. We have 2 engines to achieve this. The first is Magmatic Insight. So this is just a good way of drawing cards in a colour that doesn't regularly get draw effects. The downside of discarding a land to your graveyard isn't a downside. We want to get those lands there. And we also play a couple of Molten Vortex. Molten Vortex is, I think, a chronically underplayed card. You know, the ability to shock your opponent or an annoyingly little creature, or multiple shocks to a bigger creature. I think it's actually quite powerful. You can do it at instant speed. You know, the cost of putting a land in your graveyard, as we've already said, isn't really a cost for this deck. As the objective of this deck is effectively to get a lot of land into play, our creatures and our other spells will be cards that seek to take advantage of this. So we play 4 Primal Druid as another way to get land into play. We play 4 Sylvan Advocate and 4 Tireless Trackers. They're just great value creatures that both benefit from having extra land in play. Tireless Tracker in particular, if you Splendid Reclamation and get, say, 5 lands, that's 5 clues, lots of opportunities to draw cards and pump your Tireless Tracker. So these are just good green value creatures. Higher up the curve, we play a couple of Mina and Den Wildborn. So Mina and Den allow you to play an additional land per turn, so you can get more land into play. But they also give you something to do with the extra land. You can use the mana, bounce the land, and give your target creature trample, which can be really nice at forcing damage to. It also means you have land in your hand to play to trigger those what are effectively landfall abilities. We also play 3 Nissa Voice of Zendikar. As we will see, this deck does sort of tend to go wide, in which case Nissa's +1/+1 counters are invaluable, and she's just a good green planeswalker. Now on to the spells. We play a playset of Fiery Impulse, some good early removal, deal with those small threats. We play 3 Nissa's Pilgrimage. We want to regularly have land in our hand. This is for Molten Vortex, for Magmatic Insight, even just to play. Nissa's Pilgrimage is the best way of doing that, as well as ramping you. And we also play 3 Zendikar's Royal. Now this card's a bit of a wild card. I'm not sure whether it's better off as a 2-of or a 3-of. That's something to test. But it rewards you for getting a lot of land into play quickly. So if you can get your Zendikar's Royal into play, say, turn 4, if you've ramped enough the Primal Druid or the Nissa's Pilgrimage, or even turn 5, and then hit your Splendid Reclamation, you have like an army of 2/2 tokens that can go wide. You can give them trample, you can put +1/+1 counters on them. There are other Anthem effects you might choose to play, like a Tarkus Command. So in theory, it's a really good way of finishing a game. The land base is pretty simple for a 2-colour deck. We play 4 Cinderglade, 4 Game Trail, and 4 Evolving Wilds. Evolving Wilds are great because they go to your graveyard naturally, so they're another card that comes back with Splendid Reclamation. As for basics, we play 3 Mountains and 8 Forests. It's a bit of an odd split, but we want a lot of forests, given we're playing Nissa's Pilgrimage, and Nissa's Pilgrimage can only fetch forests. It's a good way of putting land into our hand. We also play 2 Drownyard Temple. We don't have any requirement for the colourless mana, but it's a great land to pitch to Magmatic Insight or Molten Vortex, as you can return it from your graveyard, if you've not got Splendid Reclamation, for example. On to sideboarding. As with all sideboard options, it will be heavily dependent on the meta in general and the meta of where you're playing. So I'll just give you some options, and you should tailor them to the kind of decks you're expecting to be facing. So Jaddy Offshoot's great as an early blocker that can gain you a lot of life with the number of land you'll be bringing into play. So if you're facing a lot of aggressive decks, Jaddy Offshoot is good. Noose Constrict is just another good way of getting land into your graveyard. It's a great 2-drop, very annoying to play against, quite resilient to at least red base removal. Collective Defiance is a very flexible card. You can take out a creature, burn your opponent. If you've got a really bad hand or it's full of land and you want to get them in the graveyard for your Splendid Reclamation, you can do all of that off the one card. Roast is some more removal to take out bigger non-flying creatures, something like Ishkanar for example. Onto the bigger threats. Chandra Flamecaller is a good red planeswalker that can act as a nice board sweep. She's also very good against opposing planeswalkers with her +1 ability. And a 0 ability is not irrelevant if you're stuck with a handful of land. It's another way to discard them all to your graveyard. Ulvenwald Hydra is a card which hasn't seen that much play in Standard. I think it's a reasonable sideboard option. It's another way to get land into play to trigger the Zendikar's Royal. It's a big creature because you're going to have spent at least 6 mana to bring it in, so it's going to be at least a 6/6 for 6. It has a reach, so it can deal with flyers. Usually it's a pretty good threat. Decimator of the Provinces, a very strong card, been compared to Craterhoof Behemoth. It obviously works very well with the tokens the army of tokens you'll be assembling. You can sacrifice one of your cheaper creatures to it, like Tyler's Tracker, or the dream, I suppose, is to sacrifice a Primal Druid to it. And also linked to the Decimator is Kozilek's Return. Obviously, this doesn't work quite so well with your tokens, but it's a way to kill off aggressive starts from your opponent. You're not really as interested in the flashback ability of Kozilek's Return. You're more interested in the turn 3 board wipe, as the flashback will probably take out most of your team. As previously mentioned, Atarka's Command is a good Anthem effect. A very flexible card, a card I very much like. If you've seen any of our werewolf videos, you'll already know that. Aerial Volley is looking like a good sideboard card right now. Just the ability to take out flyers. You could also see Clip Wings in this slot if you're facing something like Avacyn a lot, or Dragonlord Ojutai, or even Dragonlord Silumgar, I suppose. So yeah, that's if you're facing decks with a lot of flyers. And another card I really like that hasn't seen much Standard play is Oblivion Sower. So this oath gives you the ability to have access to more lands, because you get access to your opponent's lands. It's certainly not as strong as it was when Delve was in the format, but I think it's still got a very good body and a very reasonable ability. So it's certainly something for consideration. So that's the deck tech. Did you like it? Then please give it a thumbs up below. If you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to the channel. We will be releasing more standard deck tech videos. Particularly, we'll be taking more of a look at Splendid Reclamation as a card and how it can be exploited. There's a good blue, green, blue running around that I want to bring you in the future. If you want to see more from us, you can subscribe to the channel. You can also follow us on social media. We have presence on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. If you search for Chief SMTG on there, you should be able to find us. So yeah, I hope you join us for future videos.